Salutations, dear friends. It is the day after Christmas and everybody is laden down with gift cards and money from family and wondering, what exactly do I spend this money on? Well, do I have a deal for you? From now, which is the 26th of December through January 2nd, Steam is doing a huge sale on The Sims 3. Every pack is $5 or $4.99, I round it up, and you can get the entire series for under $100. This makes me totally jealous because I paid way more than $100 for my Sims 3, but we're not gonna talk about that. But you might not have $100 kicking around and want to spend that much on The Sims 3. So what packs should you buy? What are the best ones and what are the worst ones? So we're going to be doing a Sims 3 buying guide today. If you're looking for the Sims 4 one that I did a couple days ago, that will be linked in the cards and down in the description. But today we're talking about The Sims 3, my favorite game, and what packs that I recommend. Let's start with World Adventures and talk about my grading scale because I do not sugarcoat anything. I do not let cute things in CAS or build buy mode overshadow problems that a pack might have. If you're looking for sugarcoating, you're gonna have to go elsewhere. This is not the list for you. So my grading scale is green, which means best. It means these are the packs that if it's not on sale and you wanna buy something, it is worth every penny. Yellow means it's a good pack, but get it on a sale, it doesn't meet the standards of green. Orange means it's forgettable and boring. Buy it when it's really deeply discounted and when you've purchased all of the stuff from green and yellow. Red means absolutely don't buy, too many problems, not worth even 75% off. So where do I place World Adventures? I place World Adventures somewhere between 75% sale and forgettable and boring. I don't think it belongs in forgettable and boring because it's a good pack, but it belongs in 75% sale with some caveats. The first one and the biggest one being that you're never really sure when you travel to the countries like Egypt, France, and China if you're actually going to get to the country, and you're never really sure when you come home that you're actually going to come home. Let me explain. When you travel to the countries, sometimes you'll just get an endless loading screen, and the game will just basically eat your sim. And sometimes when you're trying to come home from the country, you'll come home and your map will load, your homeworld map, but nothing will happen because the game has essentially eaten that sim again. That's a problem. That's a big problem. It doesn't happen a lot, but it happens enough that it's something you need to weigh when you get this pack. Also, the tombs and things that you can do in the countries can be very repetitious and boring sometimes. You're basically running from like one end of the map to another end of the map, sitting and waiting for things to spawn so you can do quests. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Ambitions places firmly in the worth full price, but again with some caveats. Not everybody is gonna be as enthusiastic about careers as I am, and that's the main thing you get with Ambitions. You get a boatload of new careers, some of them being interactable, which means, let's take the firefighter for example. You actually go to the firehouse and you do things around the firehouse, and then there'll be a fire call that comes in and you get on the fire truck and you go to the actual house that's on fire and you put out a fire and you save people. Not everybody's going to be interested in that. Not everybody's going to be really excited about a pack full of jobs. But the jobs that you get, the amount and the crazy amount of stuff to do in some of the interactive careers definitely makes it worth full price. Late Night goes in the forgettable and boring tier for a few reasons. The idea of living in a high-rise apartment in the city is a cool idea. Execution, however, is failing this pack, and that is what is leading it to be forgettable and boring. There's a lot of problems with the city. It causes a heck of a lot of lag. It really does. All the high-rise buildings, all the people, the subways. Oh, don't get me started on the subways. You'll have routing issues with your Sims not knowing if they want to go for the subway or if they want a taxi. So that just kind of leads them to standing on the curb, not knowing what they're going to do. And that can be a real big problem if you're trying to get home. If you're living in a high-rise building, sometimes you'll get in the elevator and it's gonna eat you. And you're gonna be stuck in the elevator and it's gonna be broken. Sometimes you just want to go out to a club and you open up the building to go in and there's 25 people by the elevator and you can't get into the club because the elevator is having a hard time dealing with the amount of people. It's a good pack. It's not great, and it is let down by the lag, the routing issues, and the problems with the elevators. Generations belongs in the worth full price. It is worth every single penny. I am a family player and I absolutely love anything that allows me to flesh out every single life state in the game. You know how in The Sims 4, it is very boring sometimes to play as children and teens and elders because they have nothing really interesting going for them, nothing that makes them unique? Not true in The Sims 3. I really love running around with a cane as an elder. It's just so much fun to, hit people with it. It's a lot of fun. Kids have a whole bunch of stuff, scouting, ballet. They have the ability to be read to sleep, which is so adorable. Tree houses, sand pits. Teenagers have pranks and prom. Learning to drive. Like, I haven't scratched the surface of this pack. It is worth every single penny. Unlike The Sims 4, pets belong in worth full price in The Sims 3. The amount of stuff you get, oh my gosh. You get cats, you get dogs, you get horses, you get small pets, which are rodents, lizards, snakes, birds. Oh my gosh, so much stuff. You get a beautiful world. I love Appaloosa Plains. It is a fun town to play in. This pack is just bursting at the seams with stuff to do and worth every penny. Showtime goes with its cousin down in forgettable and boring. I do not really care for the Showtime careers. I don't. They can be repetitious and boring because you have to go around and do gigs everywhere to progress in your career. So if you're a singer, you're gonna go through the same animations day in, day out, same songs. It's gonna get boring. If you really, really like those things, then it's gonna be higher on the scale for you. But for me, it just felt really lackluster and a bore to play. Supernatural goes in the worth full price tier. Oh my goodness. The amount of stuff you get. You get witches. You get werewolves. You get revamped vampires that you got in Late Night. You get fairies. You get playable genies, which genies are in a different pack, but you can play as them and start as them in Kaz with Supernatural. You can play as ghosts in Supernatural and start them in Kaz and pick your color of what death you had. I'm not even scratching the surface of the other stuff you get, but I love playing as Supernaturals, and this pack is just bursting with stuff that makes it worth full price. Seasons belongs in the sale category. The weather in the game, which is a huge selling point, is really, really badly coded. Anything that you want to do, whether it be birthdays, weddings, going to the festival, just going out in general, it's gonna rain. It always rains. Everybody who plays The Sims 3 has a joke about it raining every single day. It rains a lot, and I think it was just badly coded. The weather wasn't coded real good. On the bright side, you can cheat in game or get the weather machine to change the weather, but it's just an annoyance. Also, the festivals are pretty boring after you've seen them a bunch of times. And the problem with the festivals is, if you make any changes to the festival lot, like say you have a toddler and there's nothing on a festival lot really for toddlers to do, same with pregnant women, I guess they were an afterthought, but if you change it and put like a toy box on it or something for them to do, you can sometimes break the festival lot and it won't work anymore. Yeah, so basically, if you want to have stuff that is different from the stuff that you get on the festival lot, you have to create it yourself. And for me, not everybody wants to do that. Not everyone wants to build. So that's why it gets knocked down to the sale tier. University goes in the 75% sale tier. It has some problems. University, she's got some issues. It has the same issue that World Adventure has, with the fact that sometimes when you go to University, you'll just be greeted with a loading screen and nothing will happen. And if you're not on your lot at a specific time when you go home, you will be locked at University and you won't be able to leave. And the only way you can leave is if you drop out and lose all your progression, and then you'll be going home. She got some issues. She's got routing issues, unfortunately. Very unusual routing. You'll route past the building you're going to, make a U-turn, and come back for some weird reason. I don't know why. It's a good pack. You will have fun at University, but the issues drag it down, unfortunately. Island Paradise. Do I even need to say anything about this? It goes down here in the absolutely do not buy. The game pack has so many cool ideas: running a resort, living on a houseboat, jet skiing, windsurfing. It's an amazing pack, but it is weighed down by the fact that it is not executed even acceptably. You will deal with lag from the houseboats, from the jet skis, from everything in this world. If you have pets, horses will get stuck on the islands because you're living on like a tropical island with little islands around the outside. That will cause you lag. The horses are just like, I don't know what I'm doing. It is such a horribly coded pack that most people don't even play with it. They own it, but they ignore it. And it also gets some X's from me, some strikes, because you can't really just like pick things up and move them. You can't really move the lifeguard career to another town because it just won't work. It's not worth your money in any way, shape, or form. Into the Future belongs in the forgettable and boring tier. I'm not going to give it a pass. It was the last pack, and I'm not absolving it of its problems. It has the same issues that World Adventures and University has, where when you travel, you're not sure if you're going to make it to your destination or you'll make it home. Sometimes the game just eats your sim. And the reason it gets pushed down a few more pegs to forgettable and boring is there's a lot of years between World Adventures and Into the Future. There's at least a year between University and Into the Future. Someone should have stood up and said, you know, we're having problems with this travel thing. It's not working out. People get stuck. University sims can't come home. We should address this. They didn't care. That's the problem. They didn't care because Into the Future was the last pack. So why bother getting into fixing anything when you can just push it out the door and wash your hands of it? And that's exactly what happened. They threw it out the door. They didn't work on anything with Island Paradise to fix it. They didn't work on anything to fix Into the Future. It was like, we're done. We're done with this game. You're going to deal with whatever problems it has. We're absolutely done. And that pushes it down for me. The world is cool the first time you visit. When you go into the future, the world is cool and interesting. After that, it's kind of boring and lackluster. The whole time travel mechanic is interesting in theory, but no love got put into it. Basically, you'll be playing in the present, and you'll meet the time traveler. You'll go to the future. You'll meet your descendants, and pretty much you'll go home. And when you get home, you'll do things in the present that you'll get little pop-ups that say, hey, go back to the future. You've changed something. So you'll go to the future and your descendants will change. So maybe they'll change their hair color, or say you marry an alien. Now your descendants are aliens. Like, very little has changed. You can also manipulate the time flow and change the actual town of the future. There's two options. There's utopia and dystopia. Utopia, everything is bright and sunny, and dystopia is everything is dark and dreary and apocalyptic. But they're basically just palette swaps of the town that you load into normally. There's nothing really fantastic and different going on there. And it just is forgettable. All right, we're going to be doing the stuff pack lightning round now because there's quite a few stuff packs, and guess what? They all go to the same tier except one. Now, back in the Sims 4 guide, I kind of made a joke about all of the stuff packs going to forgettable, and that's exactly where all of these go. So high-end loft stuff, the actual furniture in the pack is just not for me. I don't like it. Fast lane, the cars are cool. Again, the stuff that you get in Build Buy, the furniture is not for me. Outdoor living, same problem. The furniture is just not for me. Town life, you get some cool stuff for around town, new stuff to put on venues. Some of the furniture is not for me. Master Suite, furniture is nicer, but it's pretty light on content. Katy Perry Sweet Treats. Absolutely don't buy that. If you want to live in Katy Perry's California Girl music video, buy that pack. None of it really can be changed to look like it's not crazy. Like, there's Kaz in this game where you can change all the colors of pretty much everything. And even if you change Katy Perry's stuff, it still looks like it's crazy. It still looks like you've come out of Candyland, the board game. No thank you. Diesel, I don't like branded things, so I don't usually use the Diesel stuff that has Diesel branded on it. 70s, 80s, and 90s, I can't say that I've ever used any of it. Ever. I own it, never used it. Movie stuff pack, same problem. I own it, never have used any of it. I'm not going to go ahead and do the towns because they are all overpriced for what you get, but there you go. That is all of the Sims 3 stuff ranked. I hope that helps you figure out what you want to buy. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.